Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we're honored to be here with Mindy Tate. She's the CEO of Franklin Tomorrow. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's been a great day here, and we're just excited about all the things we have going on. It's a busy summer for Franklin Tomorrow.
Absolutely. So you are doing tremendous good, a number of different programs. We'll talk all about that, but let's start with a little bit of history and context. Give us some history for Franklin Tomorrow.
So Franklin Tomorrow was founded in 2000 by a group of business and community leaders, some elected officials who wanted to make sure what made Franklin special then would be present for future generations. So we were founded as a community visioning organization. And we have continued that mission, and we do a lot in setting strategic futures for the community, kind of what the citizens tell us they want Franklin to be. But now we're also really involved in citizen engagement, and we have as our mission to engage the community, foster collaboration, and then advocate for a shared vision for the future of Franklin.
Absolutely. So making sure that everyone has a voice and can participate. When you look at some of the things, and obviously there's many that make Franklin special, what are some of those things that you like to highlight?
So what we think the citizens have told us they want Franklin to be is a city with a robust economy, vibrant neighborhoods, distinct character, and great people. All of those things are really present here in Franklin. When we started back in 2000, we used to say we worked in 9 different areas. And let me see if we had task forces in each of these areas: business, community character, education, environment, government, growth and development, housing, recreation, and transportation. I got all of them. I'm amazed. And we used to say we worked in those different areas. And we also had a task force for people. But people go throughout all of those other 9 areas. And it was just easier to, while we work in all of those areas and are concerned about those, we want to really be about engaging the community and then fostering collaboration with other organizations, whether that's the City of Franklin or organizations like the Chamber of Commerce or the Realtors Association or an HOA or another neighborhood, something like that.
When you look at things like, and you mentioned kind of the economic development side of this, but I'm thinking around, jobs, things for families to do, so the recreation, good schools, safety. How does all that kind of play into the scheme of everything that you're talking about as well?
So that's where our middle name, and that's Collaborate, comes into play. It's because while we can't be involved or leading the discussion on all of those categories, if we're collaborating with other organizations that are, then we're bringing that to our audience and bringing that to our programming and events so that those topics are coming up, such as coming up in July, our next breakfast with the mayors. We have the Williamson County Schools Director of Schools, Jason Golden, and the Franklin Special Schools Director of Schools, Dr. David Snowden, who'll be talking about the challenges ahead for the coming school year. And so we'll have them speak at our next breakfast with the mayors on July 26th.
How often do you have those breakfasts with the mayors?
So Breakfast with the Mayors is a quarterly event for us, and it's held at Rolling Hills Community Church because they have a really great facility there with great audiovisual, a lot of technology that we can utilize. It's a former boot factory, Western Boot Factory on Columbia Avenue. And so we have those events quarterly at Rolling Hills Community Church.
You also have an ongoing series, a monthly lecture series called Frank Talks. Talk about that.
We do. We love Frank Talks. It's a monthly, as you said, program on the second Monday of the month at various locations across the community. Just this past week, we held that on the second Monday of June, and we were outside at a park. And we had the Parks Department there talking about summer activities. The Franklin Run, Walk, Bike group was there giving bike safety ideas. So we try to go to various areas of the community so that we can attract a different audience. And then we went on a little walk, and just everybody kind of had that as a moment of peace.
You also have a number of other programs, including Get Fit Franklin. So talk about that.
So Get Fit Franklin is an initiative that we started several years ago with Mayor Ken Moore to look at the health and well-being of our community. We're sort of surprised when we were doing a revisioning that nowhere in our current strategies or goals was the health and well-being of our community identified. But we knew we're the healthiest county in the state of Tennessee, and it's very important to the people that live here. But it also allowed us, by creating Get Fit Franklin, to advocate for something that we knew was important to citizens, and that was more connectivity, more trails, greenways, and sidewalks. And so we've been able to lobby for that or advocate for that with the city, and there has been a lot of progress in the creation of trails and additional sidewalks where people can walk in Franklin rather than having to get in their car. So currently, Get Fit Franklin, we are bouncing back from the pandemic like everybody else, and we're also involved with Get Fit Franklin for the mayor's Find Hope Franklin initiative, which we've been working on as well.
Go ahead and talk about that, and then I want to come back to something in terms of finding gaps, but go ahead and mention that initiative as well.
So Find Hope Franklin is an initiative of Mayor Moore's that he started a couple years ago with a blue ribbon panel to work on removing the stigma of mental health in our community, mental health needs in our community. And I was active already through Get Fit Franklin in the Wayne County Health Council, which has identified mental health as a strong issue in our community. And so working with Mayor Moore, we have now have a findhopefranklin.com website that people can go to find resources. And Franklin Tomorrow has received a grant from Vanderbilt University Medical Center a couple years ago. And we were able to train 11 people in our community who can now go out as QPR trainers. And QPR stands for Question, Persuade, and Refer. And it's a suicide prevention training, kind of like mental health CPR. And so we have now trained over 300 people in QPR training, and are training more every month, and really discussing mental health in our community and the needs that exist. And that's really important to do. And a lot of people come to this looking at it from a teen suicide issue, but in Williamson County, our most at-risk group of individuals is actually white males 40 and up.
Wow.
And so we really need to be aware of that, and are working towards that. But if anyone wants to have a QPR class, they can just call our office or email me, and we can set that up. We can have up to 35 people per class, and we are happy to bring trainers and materials to you to have that class. We also have public sessions that we do at the library or City Hall, other places that people can attend.
We'll definitely wrap up with the contact information, but since you mentioned it, go ahead and mention website, email. What's an easy connection point for you?
Yeah, so it's all pretty simple. Our website is franklintomorrow.org, and my email is just mindy@franklintomorrow.org. And we look forward to hearing from people and coordinating those classes, or putting together a public class where a group can come and attend.
So going back to the question I was going to ask before, I think Find Hope Franklin and also Get Fit Franklin, both of those are good examples of finding gaps and opportunities, but yet also too great leverage points to be able to help and make a difference and create a powerful storyline for the city. So I think in really both cases of identifying the need and the gap, but also too how you can convene, collaborate, create an initiative and a program that ultimately helps people and helps the community, but also too creates a powerful narrative for what Franklin is doing as well. Talk about kind of that mindset of looking for the gaps, the opportunities to serve and convene at the same time, looking for opportunities to be able to really market the community.
Well, I'm really proud to say that Franklin Amaro was part of the team that in 2020 partnered with the city of Franklin to pursue being named an All-America City by the National Civic League. And that was about engagement and efforts both at the governmental level, but also at our organizational level as a nonprofit to engage the community. And so it's funny to be named in 2020 an All-America City when we couldn't be together, we couldn't do anything. But the funny thing is we went early into Franklin Tomorrow did, invested heavily in Zoom and in webinar capabilities. We never missed a beat with our programs. We just went online and hybrid. And we held Frank Talks each month, and we held Breakfast with the Mayors online. And so it worked well for us, and we were able to actually kind of engage a whole new audience, I think, in that way, by having that programming available to people on a comfort level. They didn't, some people are comfortable walking into a room where you don't know anyone. That's the first step to engagement, is you have to go somewhere. But by using technology now and trying to provide a hybrid experience for all of our events, we're attracting an even bigger audience by people who can join us for Frank Talks on Monday mornings from the comfort of their home or their office. And we are seeing that people are being more engaged in that way through those programs. So I think it's really realizing that there is no going back to normal. It's a little bit, there's a new normal, and how are we going to adjust so that the citizens can continue to be engaged?
I think that's a great lesson learned, is to your point, this is the way of the future and how things are shifting, and you are going to have to open up the access points, meet people where they are mentally and physically. And so I think there are many lessons learned. Give us, for others in different cities, especially because I'm thinking, for this, in terms of the reach of this show, you've got people around the world that really will be able to watch and participate. For others who say, I want to do something similar in my community. I want to create a visionary group, a collaborative organization, a convener. What would you offer to them as advice in doing what you do?
Well, I would honestly say that we are an apolitical organization. As a 501c3 nonprofit, we have to be apolitical. And so it's important that that be at the forefront, that you're not there to usurp government or to usurp work being done by others, but you're looking on how you can work with others to concentrate on the good in your community and how it can be better. In 2018 and 2019, we did a project called On the Table, and we brought together over 1,000 people who came together over a light meal or a snack to talk about what's good in our community and what engaged citizens can do to be positive impact in their community. We're happy to talk to people about that program, share that material with them. It's all free. And it's a great way to maybe begin that process of talking about a vision for the future of your community. Your government may have a vision for the future, but if the citizens don't know what that is, they can't get behind it, and it can't be their vision for the future of your community. So we do a lot with the city of Franklin, but we're an independent 501c3 that wants to engage the community and then work with other organizations to make sure that Franklin remains a great place to live. And I'm so lucky. I've lived here 40 years and just love it.
That's awesome. And so I think obviously when you talk about attending the events, virtual or in person, that's one way to get involved. But how can the community, the greater community, help your efforts?
Well, I would really think about the power of social media. Obviously, we love technology, and we've really upped our game in social media during the pandemic. And we didn't mean to, but we added close to 1,000 followers in 2020 and in 2021 each year without really thinking about it. But we use our social media, just as our mission says, to engage people, to educate them, but also to collaborate with other organizations. So you can find on our social media channels, even on our website sometimes, information about other events or public events going on in the community. so that it's a good first step. And we're currently sending a welcome to Franklin postcard to everyone who buys a home in the 064, 067, 69 zip codes. We send them a welcome to Franklin and encourage them to get engaged by just looking at our website or following us on social media as a first step to welcome them to the community.
We'll wrap up again with website, your email, social media. Where do we go to learn more?
So our website is franklintomorrow.org, and then you can find us on social media, both Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're on all those social media channels. No TikTok yet. I'm not sure about that. Not that cool. Or if you have any questions, just email me, Mindy at franklintomorrow.org.
Well, we're not on TikTok either. So, hey, you know,
Not cool enough.
but you can find us everywhere else as well. So I agree. Mindy, thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Glad to be here.